I do want to start off right away by saying that I do have a condition that I want to talk about right away. It's called RDF, resting dick face. Do I look like I'm having a good time right now? It's wild. Like 10 years ago, you could have taken pictures of me at any moment. It would look like I just seen boobs for the first time. You know, I was like, wasn't sure about that last pair, but I'm sure it was tits. You know. No, I tried bird scooters for the first time. I live in Appleton, and I had a blast on them. But the pictures that came out looked like something that a scanner page would post on their Facebook. You know, we're looking for this gentleman, 5'6", looks like he's never having a good time. You know, like I'm just getting concerned that I'm starting to look like I take carnival games too seriously. Skee ball's my jam. And if I ever got married, it just looked like I lost a bet. This didn't work for me one time. I love me some karaoke, and there was a lady running it one time, and I walked up to her confidently and I said, "I'm here to lay some pipe." What I meant was vocal pipe. She did not take it that way. So she reared back and just kicked me right in the balls, you know, but I could tell she was a Packer fan because it was off to the right a little bit. I get it, I'm a Packer fan too, but come on. Time to move on. I was able to sing some karaoke that night. I just never sang so much Queen. I went to the doctor to get a physical for my medication that I'm on, and they took my blood pressure and they gave me the number, and I just went, I'm not really sure how to take that. I don't know what those numbers mean. And she just went, it could have been worse, could have been better, and then just completely moved on. I guess I'll just go die then. So then she asked me the regular series of questions, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to be an asshole back. She's like, I see you still smoke. I'm like, the nicotine pouches. Thinking about quitting? I'm like, getting there. How many drinks per week do you have? Too many. How often do you exercise? Bitch, please. If I exercised, my blood pressure would not be that high. I just had to get off my chest. I went to visit my mom recently, and she's been doing this fun thing where she doesn't pluck her eyebrows anymore. She just got tired of it. So now she just shaves them off, but then draws them back on too high. So she just looks surprised all the time. Sometimes I'll be like, Mom, what happened? Looked like it was pretty shocking. Tells me to go home. I crossed this one out, but I'm going to give it a try. Another story from my mom. So she has this unique unit of measurement. You know, she lives in the UP, and one time it was supposed to snow a bunch, but it didn't. It was just a dusting on the car. Like you could just go out there and just blow it off your windshield, like, you know. She looked outside and she's like, "Oh, it only snowed a cunt hair." I'm like, "Cool, Mom, I'm 12." Didn't hear that term for a long time until I got to college, and it was only supposed to snow a dusting. It actually snowed a little bit more than that, and I was on a date that night and looked out the window and was like, "Oh, it actually snowed quite a bit." My date went, "Oh, looked like it only snowed a cunt hair." Well, I learned 3 things that night. That unit of measurement is subjective. I was not going home with Becky that night. Why was my mom always so goddamn trim? Oh, the things you learn when you get older, right? My brother, he tried to teach me so many things. He's 10 years older than me. And he tried to teach me how to hunt, fail. But he did teach me how to drive. And the one thing that stuck with me this entire time was, you gotta stay between the mayo and the mustard. I was like, you crappy son of a bitch. He knew I liked sandwiches, so he spoke to me in condiments, you know? Never forgot it. You know. Oh yeah. Anyone here in the stock market? No, that's a hard no then, right? A little bit. Well, I recently got into it, and I use this app where you can see comments from other people that are invested in the same stocks that you are in. I just want to share some of these. These are real too. This one came up as big ass titties. It's like good news for me. I've been following those things for years. Another one said, "Your mother butt spread across my bed, $3 Fridays." Well, it's Saturday. I guess we missed out on that one. And the last one says, "Now I see you all ready to trade, but if you have a moment, let me tell you about our Lord Jesus Christ." Judging from this room, some of you need to invest in Jesus. Soft laugh on that one, that's okay. You know, in weather like this, especially earlier today, like Dean was saying, like we got hammered down in the valley there. And my favorite is always seeing guys driving the big trucks, you know, big tires, big trucks, especially the ones with the balls dangling off the back, trying to make up for all the dick that they don't have. But then I got to thinking, I was like, you know what? I drive a very modest vehicle. It's a 2011 Chevy Double HR. And if you don't know what that is, it looks a lot like a PT Cruiser. And I was like, you know what? This is the perfect amount of vehicle for the dick that I'm bringing. Sure, it's not big and flashy, but it's enough to bring you a kid, you know? Gets the job done, right? That guy knows. The other big truck guy? Yeah. Solidarity. No, I do. I am a father. She's a beautiful 4-year-old. And, you know, ever since I became a dad, so many things inside of me changed. You know, like my emotions started to get really wild. Song lyrics started hitting me differently. I started crying at things I never cried at before. You know, I was watching this video of a beautiful young lady getting just absolutely railed, you know. And I was like, oh no, that's somebody's daughter. All she wanted was a sausage pizza. She just went through this with the plumber. What's next, her rent? No, I miss the days when my daughter couldn't talk as much, you know. She'd just be getting after the little baby bouncer, watching Nursery Rhymes on Netflix. And I'd pick her up. She's so precious and beautiful. I'd look deep into her eyes. She'd look deep into mine. And she'd sneeze and fart at the same time. I was like, you are daddy's girl. Little kids though, they're a little bit too honest. Remember one time I was helping her change her shirt shortly after she turned 2 and started slapping her belly, having a good time, laughing and giggling. So Dad joined in. I was like, haha, yeah, look at us. Then she lifted my shirt up and I kept doing it. And she was like, you. Listen, my ego is too fragile for the honest children. I remember one time I was doing dishes in the kitchen and she was watching Nightmare Before Christmas in the living room. All of a sudden she yells out, look, it's Dad. Oh, it turns out Dad's the fat mayor from Nightmare Before Christmas. All I can say is thank goodness Boogie Boogie hadn't hit the screen yet, you know? But the latest one, this really hit me. We were playing, and all of a sudden, she wanted to play Rough House, but she didn't say that. All of a sudden, she just stopped and goes, hit me, Daddy! I was like, you saved that for your OnlyFans. You give that a cut because you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, me and that guy all night. You got some parenting tips for me after the show? All right, cool. I like that. Now, I remember one time I brought her to Love to Play in Appleton, and they have this big giant slide. And she wasn't old enough to go down it by herself, so I was going to go down, you know, with her in my lap. I don't know why I did that, but it looks weird, but whatever. I'm just getting the motion of the slide going, it's fine. Except I'd been chasing her around the entire time, so sweaty through my pants. So we're getting ready to go, right? There's a line of kids behind us, and I just go, so I just let her go. She just been fishing it all the way down. She gets to the bottom, looking back at me like, Daddy, why? I had to scoop my fat ass down the rest of the slide. I started with jeans, I ended up with chaps. Needless to say, I'm not allowed back. So. Remember one time, the first time actually, I brought her to God's country, the UP. That's what they like to call it up there. We stayed at a hotel and visiting family. She was just getting after it, just eating food, whatever. And it was bath time, right? Got a jacuzzi, fire up some bubbles. We're getting in there, we're playing, having a good time. Fire some more bubbles, some more jets. All of a sudden, she gets in the corner and she does one of these. So we all know what happens when it gets to this in water. Shit's going down. Literally, right? So I jump up, I'm like, no! Because as much as I love my wife, and I do, I just don't need the type of relationship where her floater touches me. I forgot that she was just eating for 3 days and hadn't shit herself yet. I was like, oh, maybe she's just burning it off. Like, I don't know how kids work at this time. Best part was I told my aunt, who had been an RN for 35 years, this story. Just dead ass looks at me and goes, hey, you just gave your daughter her first enema. So we can all watch our kids walk and talk for the first time, but who can say they gave their child their first enema? Right here. Parenting TikTok. Yeah, it was not great. One thing I never did enjoy when I was younger is when women would say, hey, Daddy. What's up, Daddy? Why? I didn't like it before I was a father, and I sure shit don't like it now. In fact, I don't like moaning a lot. I don't like moaning to the point where I avoid getting my hair cut sometimes, because I'm afraid I'm going to let out the biggest moan in my life during the shampooing. This guy knows. And then what? Then what do I say? Some dumb shit like, I'm sorry my girlfriend just doesn't touch me like that. Got my hair cut from a guy a couple weeks ago, and he asked me for the shampooing. I kindly declined, because that was not going to be the day I let out the biggest moan in my life. This is getting a little hot and heavy in the bedroom, some moaning going on. I just gently take my hand and cover her mouth and go, shut the fuck up. Losing my momentum here. No, my girlfriend did find out that I don't like being called daddy, and she just leans into it now. She'll say some dumb shit like, why don't you learn how to do your daughter's hair, Daddy? Your daughter wants to have a tea party, Daddy. Go check out the lasagna, Big Daddy. So I started hitting her with the bud. I'm like, hey, way to cook there, bud. Nice tits there, bud. Let me hit that puss there, bud. We're just at a stalemate right now. It's not working out. Nothing's happening. We just keep calling each other daddy and bud. That's it. That's what our lives have become. I'm not a fan of public bathrooms, and I'm not sure if I know anyone who is. They just tolerate it. And I'm a guy that likes to wear very flashy shoes every once in a while. And I've thought about buying just a plain white pair of shoes to bring with me. Because the last thing I want is when I blow up a stall somewhere, is to have the guy that sees my shoes walk up and be like, it was you. Yes, it was. Also, during the pandemic was flushable wipes came into my life. Boy, those are wonderful, I'll tell you that. I use those things, I feel like a squeaky cheese curd just walking around there. Do I even need to shower today? I just wipe all the good parts with it. I'm like, let's go. I I thought about bringing those out with me too, because when I blow up stall number 2, and I will, I want to leave stall number 2 feeling clean and confident, knowing that what happened in stall number 2 stays in stall number 2. Hashtag nude waves. Hashtag unpaid testimonial. But there's no bigger offender to me in public bathrooms than the trough. Are you familiar with the trough, gentlemen?
Wrigley Field.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, those are old school troughs there. If you don't know what the trough is, though, it's just a metal slop trough that pigs would normally eat out of, but except it's just dick from side to side, like just getting after it, you know? And it's not that I avoid it because I'm afraid I'm going to walk up and be like, damn, look what he's working with. I'm afraid someone's going to walk up next to me and be like, that poor bastard. Or you get some chatty chat that just walks up and be like, hey, I see you hanging to the left too. Hey, you trimmed the bush, the tree stands a lot taller, you know. And ladies, maybe you know what the trough is. I've certainly been in enough bars after midnight when all of a sudden the men's bathroom turns into a unisex bathroom. But when I try to use the women's bathroom, I get kicked out because I'm a pervert. But nobody's ever in there? You've seen some of those lines? Maybe not around here, everyone's just using outside, that's what it is.
They do.
Me too, I've been pissing around outside the building. Alright, I know I don't look like it, I grew up in the North Woods. I got to thinking though, what would that be like if women had troughs in there? I got imagine there'd be some sort of bar hanging on to. Just sitting there having your little chatter like, Josie, no pants tonight? You slut! Who are you going home with? Mandy, we told you no asparagus at dinner. I was hanging out with one of my friends, and he's got a 7-year-old daughter. And we're all familiar with the friend zone, right? You know, the friend zone where you've been texting that one person, that one special person over the last year, saying things like, "Oh, if you were with me, you could have anything that you ever wanted," and they hit you back with, "That's great. You know, welcome to the friend zone." My friend's daughter was playing with an iPad, and she was like, "I love Siri. I told Siri one day that I loved her, and she said that I love you too." So I ripped that iPad out of her hand. I was like, "You know, this is as real as Santa Claus and when they say you can be anything that you want to be when you grow up." Get out of here. It's like, watch this. So I told Siri, "I love you." She went, "I think you're great too." I got friend zoned by Siri. Ain't that a son of a bitch, eh? That's almost as bad as like rejection, you know. You can feel in so many ways. I uploaded a photo. I saw a slogan for mustard donuts one time that said, "Wake up and taste the tang." And I was like, hell yeah, that's good. So I took a photo of it, put it on my Instagram story, and I said, "This sounds like something College Chuck would have said." Immediately, an ex-girlfriend of mine said, "This sounds like something you would still say." I was like, shit, she ain't wrong, you know? I tried to buy my girlfriend a Christmas present last year. It was going to be a swimsuit for this year. A 3-piece that said, "The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit" on it. And she's like, "No." I said, "Well, why not?" She goes, "Well, you focus on the Father and the Son too much and the Holy Spirit gets angry." I was like, shit, she ain't wrong either. I am a man who's a big fan of bowling. Don't worry, his body was built for bowling. Used to be in bowling leagues for years, and there was one time when my my teammate's girlfriend was subbing in. And she was taking forever, like her sweet time to take her turn, and I had to go kindly remind her, I'm like, "Hey, it's your turn." She goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was just distracted by Jason Momoa on the TV." I'm like, "That's fine, he's handsome, whatever." I said, it's still your turn. And she goes, well, if there was Victoria's Secret models on the TV, you'd be distracted too. And I said, I prefer my models from Lane Bryant. She had the balls to look at me and say, well, Victoria's Secret models come in plus size too. And I said, not plus enough. Now, oh, bitch! I haven't bowled since. I was too stressed out. All right, this is my final one here. Make it good, thank you. Hey, I've got that one guy back there. He's doing well with me. It's me and him all night. So I'm a fan of social media. I've been on Facebook since the .edu days, when it was just you and your college friends. It was like the Wild West. You could post anything you wanted on there because it was just you and them. You know, back before employers could turn you down for a job because you have a picture of yourself drinking a bottle of vodka out of the backseat of a car. It's like, hey, at least I wasn't driving, you know. But I used to I used to post hip-hop lyrics like it was my job. And I posted some from a great wordsmith of our time, Earl Stevens, also known as E40. And these lyrics went, ooh, you look like you got that good gushy gushy. Fuck around me, I'll beat the brakes off that pussy. And I was like, yeah, that's how today's gonna go. Post. Walked around for a while, came back, checked my Facebook. I had a like on it. I said, of course I do, that's fucking fire. It was from my grandma. I forgot Facebook went public that year. And at first I felt bad, you know. I was like, oh, grandma, you don't need to see things like that. Then I thought further about it, and I'm like, oh, does grandma even know what the good gushy gushy is? Did grandma have the good gushy gushy? That would explain all the plastic on the furniture. All right, other Chuck Charles, thank you.